Mr. Chairman, I am proud to bring my bill, H.R. 5114, the Flood Insurance Reform Priorities Act of 2010, to the floor today, and I stand in strong support of its passage. Moreover, I'm proud that this bill has the support of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, having passed out of the Financial Services Committee in April on voice vote. Mr. Chairman, this bill is essential. The flood insurance program provides valuable protection for approximately 5.5 million homeowners, but unfortunately, the lack of a long-term authorization has placed the program at risk. The program has lapsed 3 times now since the beginning of this year, but for 2 days in March, for 18 days in April, and again from June 1st to July 2nd, when President Obama signed my bill to provide for a short-term extension of the program through the end of September of this year. These lapses meant that FEMA was not able to write new policies, renew expiring policies, or increase coverage limits. These delays also meant that each day, 1,200 home buyers who wanted to purchase homes located in floodplains were unable to close on their homes. Given the current crisis in the housing market, this instability in the flood insurance program is hampering that market's recovery and must be addressed. Mr. Chairman, in drafting this bill, I also wanted to address the challenges posed to communities by the imposition of new flood maps. I saw these challenges firsthand in my home city of Los Angeles. Earlier this year, I was able to assist homeowners in the Park Mesa Heights area of Los Angeles who had been mistakenly placed in a floodplain. In this case, FEMA acted quickly to respond to new data and correct the mistake. However, there are thousands of homeowners nationwide who now find themselves in flood zones and subject to mandatory purchase requirements. H.R. 5114, the Flood Insurance Reform Priorities Act of 2010, would restore stability to the flood insurance program by reauthorizing the program for 5 years. It would also address the impact of new flood maps by delaying the mandatory purchase requirement for 5 years and then phasing in actuarial rates for another 5 years. The bill also makes other improvements to the program by phasing in actuarial rates from pre-firm properties, raising maximum coverage limits, providing notice to renters about contents insurance, and establishing a flood insurance advocate similar to the taxpayer advocate at the Internal Revenue Service. Mr. Chairman, we must reauthorize the National Flood Insurance Program and pass the reforms included in H.R. 5114. This country is reeling from major floods in Tennessee, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, and we are now officially in hurricane season, with South Texas still recovering from Hurricane Alex. I urge my colleagues to stand with me in support of this important extension. In closing, I would like to recognize the many members on both sides of the aisle who have approached me with their concerns about flood insurance program. I'm further gratified that through this bill, we're able to address many of those concerns. I remain committed to working with members on